There's been several movies based off Moby Dick. There's countless references and shows all the time about the story. So the Asylum production company wanted to do their own take on the novel. But I will give them credit for a few things. I still won't go easy on how bad the changes to the story get, but the plot is honestly pretty faithful to the original book. All the key beats from the beginning to end are hit. They don't even do the Hollywood ending. Characters that die in the book die in the film. There's two biggest changes. First is they moved the story to present time, starting off in 1969 and continuing in 2010. It's a different take, but you need to accommodate the story to deal with modern technology. They don't do it. Second, the biggest change is replacing the book character Ishmael, who acted as the novel's narrator and sole survivor, with Renee O'Connor's character Michelle Herman, along with her friend Pip. I don't have much to say about the two new characters since the movie's main focus is on Ahab and Moby. Both of them get fun moments here and there, but they are mainly to serve the story.
Watch your head.
But the Michelle character being different, they changed her to a marine biologist and is not originally part of the crew, you lose half of the original character. She does keep Ishmael's objective nature of Moby Dick and his reaction to Ahab, but that's really it. Pip, he helps out here and there, kind of becomes a running gag, does get to save the day in small moments, but that's really all he does.
Come on, I'll show you back to your quarters.
Oh, no worries, I'll just take a nap here.
The biggest problems the movie has now is the bad budget and all the plot holes that rear up all over the place. I wanted to originally rate this movie the highest in the four I'm doing, but because of the stupidity of the story with it having no real characters to fall back on, I couldn't justify it. The thing I never liked was it being called 2010 Moby Dick. Couldn't you come up with something better, like Moby Dick, Ahab's Curse, something to make it stick out from other Moby Dick movies? I'm going to be also complaining about the CGI a lot. Lightning strikes effects were tolerable. Some of this stuff in here scrapes 1996. It annoys me because there are shots that are not bad, but then here comes PS1 cutscene. First up is getting background of Ahab. Since it's in modern times, the movie starts in 1969 where Ahab meets the whale for the first time. So technically earlier than where the book starts. And right off the bat, we get our first bad effects shot. One of the things in effects that is very important is to have your effect blend in with the background as much as you can. If you do this part right, half the problems are gone. They do the hard work on location, shoot in freezing temperatures, and all for the effects team to fail to blur the render. It's too sharp. That's why it looks like someone pasted it on top. Then, just to make it suck more, the sound team doesn't bother making the moving sound match the length of the turn. Ahab is a lieutenant on board an American sub patrolling the borders of Soviet waters. Or that's what the movie says, listing them as already entered Soviet territory. But 10 seconds later,
rig for silent running. We're heading into Soviet waters.
Starting off good. The intro does build Ahab's character. He's the only one who can hear Moby Dick, or the lack of sound the whale produces. Records the animal on tape. It's 1969. Cassette tapes are fine, except they screwed up and used a modern one. Clear cassettes were not a thing. They also showed that he has a problem with authority, doesn't disobey the XO's orders, but pushes the matter a lot.
No, sir, you're wrong.
There's definitely something out there. They do this to try to justify his actions later in the film. Doesn't work. Stupid decisions are stupid decisions. Of course, Ahab has to lose his leg from his first encounter with Moby. The CGI for this scene, horrible. Not every shot, there are a few shots of the whale that look good, but when it comes to animating it under daylight, wow. To make it worse, half of the submarine shots are so dark, you can't even see the damn thing. I know you need to hide your CGI, but you just can't make your shot black. What is this, Game of Thrones? When you see a giant monster, you're going to expect guttural roars, a thud, a presence. Godzilla sounds are iconic for a reason. This guy, Moby Dick, dumbest roars used. Inconsistent all over the place. 1 minute it's a bear, the next minute it's the sound the Harry Potter common room door makes when it closes. You think I'm kidding? So Moby rams the sub 2 times, crushes it in its mouth, throwing it on land. Very few survivors remain, one of Ahab's friends and himself, who got pinned under some metal when Moby rips the front part of the sub off, taking his leg and diving down into the water. The worst shot in the whole movie. The sub looks like a cartoon, there's no interaction as the front drags through the snow, then it clips through the snow mound. This is a money shot, and it's the one that you make look like crap? So for the next 40 years, Ahab builds his hatred towards Moby Dick. But I gotta ask, the ship's in half, it's in the middle of the Arctic, in enemy territory, Ahab's leg is ripped off, somehow this bastard survives. I can't buy it, movie. Flash forward to 2010 with all the problems. The reason why the original novel works so well is that it relies on the time it takes place. The mystery of the whale and the people it murdered all comes from survivors. There was no way for photos or video to expose the whale. It would stay as legend or a thing to scare children. Putting it in 2010, while the script is trying to stay faithful to the book, you have a disconnect. So with that prologue ending, we get introduced to our second lead, Dr. Michelle Herman, along with Pip. They're attempting to talk and study some nearby whales off the shore of California. While she works at a university, she implies that her grant was terminated and was doing this on her own. I think they were trying to have a parallel between Ahab and Michelle. He will do anything for his goal. She'll do the same thing for her whale work. I know Renee O'Connor from her days on Xena. She's a good actress, but in this film, some scenes were rough.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Starbuck, USS Pequod. I need you to come aboard, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Basically, long story short, Michelle and Pip get kidnapped by the submarine. They need her help in tracking down the whale. Ahab has been following her work while he designed this custom submarine. The movie turns into a cheap Sequest bit, over-the-top, super fancy submarine, large computer screens with blank keyboards for some reason, and a DVD player on the wall. Of course, this crew is comprised with the characters from the novel, from Starbuck to Queequeg, the names all sounding stupid being in 2010. So obviously Michelle is needed to figure out the sound of the whale to track the beast. The movie does go the extra mile and hams up the crew and Captain Ahab. He'll do a lot of lines from the book. That's like the one thing the actors do good. It is over the top, but they put everything into those moments.
And when we're done with him, he will spout black and roll in his own blood.
Here comes two big problems with the movie. First off, we know Ahab solely went insane on his hunt for the beast. You have to do that in a Moby Dick story. But the way they did it here, goddamn dumb. Over several months, many ships were attacked and destroyed. The military had no idea what was going on. Now remember, no one wanted to listen to Ahab back at the start? Well, after 40 years, Ahab was able to take photos of the whale and showed them to Michelle. Here's the thing. Ahab keeps this a secret and doesn't show the proof of the whale to his superiors while he goes AWOL with his ship. What do you think happens? They think he's gone insane, destroying all those ships himself. So now, the military is going after him. What the movie? You think if a person was hunting a big-ass fish for 40 years and finally got proof of the bastard, he wouldn't shove it into everyone's damn face? Not only this, the movie also has a scene of Moby attacking a tour boat off the shore of California. It killed almost everyone. Don't tell me a 500-foot whale wouldn't have been spotted, especially 20 minutes later. Eyewitnesses saw Michelle's boat next to the sub. People can see the submarine, but a whale 3 times its size, big fat no. It would have been photographed or videotaped by someone. It would have been on the news, and Ahab hides proof for no reason. When exposing the whale to the world would give him a chance to lead a massive fleet in killing it, which is what he wants. This makes Ahab a freaking moron. Why the hell did the writers make Ahab this stupid? There's better ways in showing his insanity. Not to mention, if he was this unstable, why would the military even grant him the power to make a custom $6 billion submarine? This is a problem going on for 40 years. The book tries to have the reader be sympathetic to Ahab. The movie does the opposite. This is why you shouldn't put Moby Dick in present time. Ahab needs Michelle to isolate the whale sound so they can lure Moby Dick in for an attack. And they get this dumb moment with the tape getting jammed. So, the cassette tape that has survived for 40 years, being submerged in Arctic conditions, and for some reason it's jammed just now. So they try to have this CSI moment of Pip transplanting the tape into a micro cassette, which clearly wouldn't work, but they just use quick cuts to cover it up. Why do this? Did they think that this scene was more interesting than, say, Pip and Michelle trying to do an actual CSI audio cleanup scene? Not to mention, you're telling me the most paranoid captain in the world wouldn't have made copies of the tape within the 40 years, or at some point digitized it? The scene would have played out better if, say, they were working on the digital file, the ship got attacked, so they were forced to use the original tape. Something different than what we got. Thanks to Captain Brickhead's idea of not telling the military about Moby Dick, they call in one of his survivors that worked with him on the sub to come up with plans to stop Ahab, plus sends a sub after him, which goes to hell pretty quick. They run into Moby Dick thinking he's the Pequod. We know Moby is pretty smart, but for whatever reason, when the Essex shoots torpedoes, they just miss. Why are you making torpedoes act like spears or cannons from the novel? If you're gonna put it in present day, make the situations make sense. Or maybe it was because the effects team was just bad, because the torpedoes just missed him instead of him swimming around and dodging them. But he does do this in the movie to get one of the torpedoes to destroy the sub. It's so amazing that the captain has 10 seconds to watch the torpedo head right towards the ship and never orders it to self-destruct. Of course, they lose their lives. Captain Ahab is pissed off. He shows his crew the deaths and gives this passionate, amazing speech.
We owe this to the men of the Essex. We owe this to ourselves. Are you with me, men? You feel brave?
Just one thing, Ahab. Because of your idiocy of you hiding Moby Dick for no reason, you got these men killed. It's your fault. Why, writers? Why was this done? Have him go insane, but have reasons that make sense. Was it so hard to tweak the story a little bit where he tells the military about Moby, they send a small fleet commanded by him, and Moby destroys the subs one by one, which is what pushes him to edge of insanity, not f***ing be the murderer? Everyone is acting like morons in the movie. It's not just Ahab. The second half of Act 2 is the best part of the film. The pure chase between the Pequod and Moby, when everything finally got isolated from the world, I was like, wow, this is like the book. Some of the effects are not bad either. And then Act 3 happens. Anyone familiar with the ending of the book knows what's going to happen. Ahab and the crew have to die. But it's in the most goddamn ridiculous way in the world. So they're approaching this walled-in island and they're like, we'll trap Moby in there and take him out, when Moby was the one setting a trap, getting the Pequod to run aground, so they get stuck, forcing Ahab and some of the crew, along with Michelle, to use boats. They get taken out one by one. Most of them survive and end up on shore. Then they crank the dial on dumb even higher. You have one guy just go, I hear something, and walks into the water, gets attacked. Most of the Moby shots are reused over and over again. It's the same shot of the boat being attacked. Even when he's attacking people, you see wood flying everywhere. The shots look ridiculous regardless, since he's just doing nom 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 nom. There's other shots where the whale's just sliding across frame. Then to finish this crap sandwich of an ending, the writer said screw reality and has Moby Dick swim on land and jump all over the place. I'm done, movie. I am done. Bullets don't hurt him. Moby has built-in anti-rocket tech. This bastard might as well be a submarine and a plane. Ahab's like, right, this is the time we stare at each other because the script says so. I shoot you with a harpoon and you don't move or kill me right then and there. Gotta do what the book does, just in the shittest way possible. Ahab gets tangled in the harpoon line and goes down. First Officer Starbuck fires off some rockets to kill Moby. They of course miss. Moby jumps over the rockets, crashes down on the sub, killing Pip and everyone on board. All who's left is Michelle and two guys. The rocket's heading toward them, so the two guys are like, yeah, we're dead. Let's sit down and take a smoke. While Michelle tries to make a run for it, she jumps off a cliff and survives the explosion. But hey, at least the ending lines up with the book. Out of thin air, a helicopter comes to her rescue, and let me guess, at no point sees that entire fight as it approaches the island. It had some potential, and I wouldn't have been so hard on the effects if they spent the money on key scenes like lightning strikes did. It would have been much better. But they did poor work all over the place. The characters are forgetful. The only real one you care about is Ahab, but he's a cold murderer at this point. You might as well root for Moby. If I was in Michelle's spots, I'd keep my mouth shut, knowing the military in this movie, everyone's eyes didn't work that day. Unless you want to laugh, pass. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you remember a movie or show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.